Rivets are a great way to combine layers of material together. When creating jewelry, it's great to make sure those layers are waterproof. For today's how-to, we're going to be using a wire rivet and 2 layers of metal components. To create your wire rivet, you want to anchor the wire in a very stable vise. And you want to take your ball peen hammer or your riveting hammer and make sure, well, first you want to make sure the end is flush cut, and then take your hammer and draw the wire out from the center as if you're spreading butter in a circular pattern. Always strike the metal down so that you don't bend your wire. Test it to see how the metal's moving, and then once you're sure you've formed a rivet where the head will help keep the wire from falling through the holes you create, then you're ready to move on. Trim that piece of wire off, and then you'll have your rivet. Once you have your rivet all set, you want to take your components and place a hole wherever it is that you want them to be connected. And I use the handy hole punch to create the holes for these components. Once you've created the holes, you want to use a file to remove any burrs. If you leave any burrs, they will compromise the riveting process. They will, get in the way of the rivet from doing its job. So just make sure any of the metal that might have remained after you've punched your hole, or if you use a rotary tool, same thing, you want to just make sure that you remove any of that excess metal. And then your files may leave marks you didn't intend to have, so then use a progression of the polishing papers to make sure you remove any unwanted marks. Once you are completely ready to move on and the metal's ready, you want to place the metal components onto your wire rivet. Trim your wire rivet. It's, the general rule is about 2 millimeters above the top surface. I always just go by eye, and I let my pliers and my wire cutters be the judge. I'll place them flush under the surface and then just raise them up a little. I'll hold that excess wire that I don't need anymore so that it doesn't go flying across the room, which, got to be careful. Cut that wire, and then you're ready to finish your rivet and join those pieces of metal together. Again, the same motion. You want to carefully, because now we're working on the front of the metal, you want to carefully draw that wire out, forming that rivet in that second position. And then consequently, as you're riveting, the rivet that you originally formed is also being reworked a little bit. When I make rivets, I like the effect the steel block provides. Once your charm is complete and you're sure your layers are secure, you can then use that charm or pendant, whatever it was that you created, in any form of jewelry that you'd like. You can add a jump ring, and really it's ready to go into whatever you're putting it on, whether it's a length of chain, a necklace, a cording, whatever it is. The rings were riveted together. That was just gallery wire wrapped around a ring mandrel, and then those rivets were put into place to hold the wire in the form of a ring. All of these how-tos are available on firemountaingems.com, and for all the tools and information that we've used, please refer to the catalog and the website for more comprehensive information.